going on, guys? Well, I finally decided to put it on the boat after numerous posts asking you guys, what you thought, your opinions on it. If anybody else had it on a 1720, I finally decided to put the Power Pole Pro Series 2 on the 1720. I wasn't sure if it was something that I would use since I have an iPilot. I know with the anchor mode and stuff, especially being in deeper water, the Power Pole's, I mean, let's be honest, it's useless. But I got to thinking about it, and when I went fishing in Kissimmee Chain last year, there was a lot of times where I was in really, really shallow water where, I was like, man, I miss my power pole, because I had one on my old bass boat, and, it was something that, come in really convenient, especially like when you're flipping mats, you're looking for those fish on the beds and whatnot. I just think it comes in handy. So, now that I'm doing more or less more saltwater fishing than freshwater, and having an iPilot, which I did not have on my bass boat, and that's a game changer. For anybody that doesn't have an iPilot, man, you're missing the boat, man. I mean, it really makes fishing a lot more efficient. It makes being able to go out and cover water, and instead of wasting all your time throwing the anchor, man, you hit that spot lock, you're done. I mean, you're there, you're fishing. You don't catch anything, no bites, lift the trolling motor up, gone. No pulling ropes, no fumbling around with that. But anyway, so I had decided, that hey, maybe I will use this on a saltwater boat, especially like in the summer when you're going to sandbars, stuff like that. This would come in handy. I plan on making a couple of trips this year, to maybe like Mosquito Lagoon, places like that, where this would come in handy. How much I use it, we'll see. I think it's great. I do like it. I had asked a lot of people that had the 1720 Key West, what their thoughts were on. There's just not a lot of guys that's got them. So, I was leery at first, was debating. I talked to my dealer about it, and he said, yeah, it's something I think you'd use. So, that being said, I mean, there is going to be times I'm going to use it, but it's just another tool on the boat to make fishing efficient. We can go flip pads now, we can go flip mats, we can anchor up in shallow water if we don't want to disturb fish, especially like, man, when you're targeting schools of reds and stuff, you don't want to be on that trolling motor, man, and making all that racket, and that's where the power pole, I think, is going to come in handy, and it'll be something that I use. Now, the guys at Ellis Marine installed this for me, man, and they knocked it out of the park. They really did, man. Them guys really, really do good work. I'll show y'all, hold on just a second. So let's walk back here and check this thing out. And it turned out really good. It's a Power Pole Pro Series 2. It's an 8-foot. I opted for that, because, I mean, a 6 just to me is just, I at least need an 8. I would have liked to have a 10, but it would have stuck so high up that I figured the 8 would be a good happy medium. It looks good. It's not too tall, but maybe the 10-foot, maybe I'll regret it. But as of right now, I'm super happy with the one I got. Like I said, this is the Pro Series 2. It looks a lot like the Blade. It doesn't tuck in quite like the Blade does. The one thing that I do like about this particular one is it's the lightest one that they have that you can put on a transom. And being that the boat's already, a 1720, I don't want a lot of weight on the back. I want to keep it as light as possible, to get maximum performance out of the boat. So, anyway, I know a lot of you guys are mounting them to the transom. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it comes with the bracket from the factory, this part right here, to mount there. You drill some holes through your boat, mount it, you're on your way. I was talking to Neil, my salesman at Ellis, and, we had talked back and forth, and he said, Brandon, I would really recommend that you mount it to a motor bracket. And I said, well, that's how I had it on my bass boat. So I knew what he was talking about, and I got thinking about it. I said, man, he's right. I don't want to be drilling holes in my new boat. And that's what he said. He said, Brandon, you don't want to be drilling holes in your new boat. I think it's a cleaner install, and I think you'll be happier with it. And he's right. I mean, look at that, guys. It looks great. Basically all this is just a bracket that basically fits. You have to pull the motor off, unfortunately, but it's not a big deal. It's nothing really hard. You basically just pull the motor off, mount the bracket, and then you got a little spacer over here, because of course, that bracket's kind of thick, but you have another little spacer over here that goes right here. That way the motor setback is the same on both sides, and then you just mount your bracket. I mean, it's strong, it looks good. Very clean install. I can't say enough about the install. I mean, it looks really neat, looks good. The pump ended up mounting in here, very clean, no issues there. Looks really good, looks really nice. Like I said, I can't be happier with it, guys. The guys did really good. So anyway, I'm really happy with it. I think something I'm definitely going to be using a bunch. It comes with a lanyard too, but I also have a little thing right here. It's another little onboard switch that's always here if I happen to forget the lanyard, or if my wife or somebody's on the boat and they want to drop the power pole, they can run out here, bump that thing down, and it's dropped. So, but there is one more thing I want to talk to you guys about. Hold on just a second, we'll just swap this view. Something else I wanted to touch on, before closing out this video, is something that, I hear a lot, I read about it a bunch. I've been asked myself, I've asked the question in the past, what kind of motor should I buy? What kind of boat should I buy? Should I buy a Honda? Should I buy a Mercury? Should I buy a Yamaha, Suzuki, Tohatsu, Nissan, etc., etc.? Something that you really need to think about. I mean, we all have our personal favorites, our preferences, but something you really need to think about is, do you have a dealer that's going to stand behind your boat purchase when you make it? I mean, let's face it, man, these are big investments. And this is something that, you're going to want, to have a good dealer behind you. Because, I mean, let's face it, these ain't made in heaven. Something's going to break eventually. I don't care what kind of motor you run. I don't care what kind of boat you have. Something's going to happen to it eventually. Maybe not. Hopefully not. We all hope not. But if you run your boat enough and you use it enough, you're going to have issues. And that's where a good dealer comes into play. And I can't say enough about Ellis Marine. I'm in no way affiliated with them guys, man, but they treat you like family, man, honestly. And I mean, I don't say that lightly. Before and after the sale, these guys have been great, man. They really went out of their way to make things happen for me. I drive a long ways to work, and I work long hours, and they're open Monday through Friday, which sometimes is a little bit hard for me to get down there to get my boat down there. But I've actually had Neil come and get my boat, have it serviced, and bring it back to me, and not charge me anything to do it. That just that's a lot. I mean, that says a lot about the dealership and the kind of people that you're dealing with, man. And Bobby and all them, man, they've been great. They got great mechanics. So, if you're in the market for a boat, motor, I mean, they have all kind of brands. They sell primary Key West, but they can put any kind of motor they do. They work on everything. They have a great website. You can check them out, Ellis Marine. I'll put a link down where you can check it out. They got a lot of products and stuff on there, but something to think about, man. I mean, I know a lot of you guys that watch these videos are probably nowhere close to Brunswick, Georgia, or anywhere close to Georgia, but it's something you need to think about, especially when you're buying a new boat or something, because you need a good dealer, and having a good dealer makes all the difference. So gives you a peace of mind and lets you know that somebody's going to be there in your time of need when you need something, and it's going to happen. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching the video. I hope maybe this helped. I know some of the guys were asking, when I got this, I had made a couple of comments that I was going to get the power pole, and they wanted to see how it was mounted and what I thought. So I haven't actually had a chance to try it out yet, but hopefully next week it's going to be time to get out there, and the fish should be on the beds pretty good. So I'm going to give that a try. But I'll do a follow-up video on this and keep you guys posted. But right now, I mean, I think it's going to work, man. It looks good. Tight lines, guys.